Dynasty Fantasy Football Tight End Rankings. Isaiah Likely's injury boosts Mark Andrews. Dynasty Fantasy Football Tight End Rankings. Isaiah Likely's surgery may open doors for Mark Andrews. Updated tight end rankings for Dynasty leagues. Date, July 30th, 2025, 11:57 a.m. ET. In the whirlwind of training camp, injury updates are pouring in, and the latest news from Ian Rappaport reveals that Isaiah Likely is set to undergo foot surgery. This development casts uncertainty over his recovery timeline. Although it does not completely rule him out for the start of the season, both Likely and his teammate Mark Andrews have the potential to significantly influence the tight end landscape in both Dynasty and Redraft fantasy football leagues. My immediate response to this news was to adjust Likely's projected target share from 10% down to 9%, while increasing Andrews from 14% to 15%. If Likely encounters any setbacks, this adjustment could become more pronounced, but if he adheres to his 6-week recovery plan, we might see a reversal of these changes within a month. Understanding Likely's position. It's crucial to recognize that Likely's ranking is not solely determined by his projections in either redraft or dynasty formats. Last season, he kicked off his campaign impressively, catching 9 out of 12 targets for 111 yards and a touchdown against the Chiefs in Week 1. However, in the subsequent 5 games, he managed only 13 targets and a mere 96 receiving yards. Currently, Likely should be viewed as a high-upside backup tight end who is just one injury away from becoming a top 5 option. This injury does not significantly alter that perspective. Even if he misses a week or 2 at the beginning of the season, he was likely going to be overshadowed by Andrews regardless. Therefore, I am not adjusting his ranking downward and would recommend considering a low-risk investment in him given this news. While there is a possibility that the injury could linger, it's important to remember that this strategy has always been about the long-term potential of the 25-year-old player. The situation with Andrews. Mark Andrews presents a different scenario. Last year, he recorded only 69 targets over 17 games. He compensated for this low volume by achieving a remarkable touchdown rate of 15.9% on his targets. Additionally, players like Zay Flowers, DeAndre Hopkins, and Rashad Bateman are expected to absorb more than half of the available targets. For Andrews to truly stand out at his position, he will require either an absence from Likely or a continuation of his extraordinary touchdown efficiency. Personally, I would lean towards selling based on this news, rather than buying, but it might be wise to wait and see if Andrews starts the season strong. Elijah Arroyo's rise. The most notable upward movement in the rankings is Elijah Arroyo, who has jumped from TE23 to TE13 following the Seahawks' decision to release Noah Fant. This change not only highlights the immediate opportunity for Arroyo, but also underscores the competitive nature of the tight end position in dynasty leagues. Jamie Eisenberg elaborated on Arroyo's sleeper potential for 2025 earlier this month, emphasizing his readiness to shine in the wake of Fant's departure. Updated Dynasty tight end rankings. What are your thoughts on these changes? Do you agree with the adjustments made to Likely and Andrews? How do you see Arroyo's potential playing out this season? Share your opinions in the comments below. And remember, the world of fantasy football is always evolving, and staying informed is key to making the best decisions for your team. Isaiah Likely foot injury update. Will he play in Week 1? In what could be a major blow to the Ravens' plans for the upcoming season, reports indicate that tight end Isaiah Likely suffered a foot fracture during Tuesday's practice. However, there's a silver lining. Despite the injury, a return in time for the season opener remains a real possibility. This detail is sparking extensive discussion among fans and analysts alike. ESPN sources reveal that Likely's injury occurred during practice, and while head coach John Harbaugh mentioned he would miss several weeks of action, the possibility of him playing in the Week 1 game against Buffalo on Sunday night is still on the table. What makes this situation particularly interesting is that Likely is entering the final season of his current contract, prompting many to speculate about his future with the team. With his potential for a contract extension, his early season availability could be crucial for both him and the Ravens. The injury's timeline suggests that it might not hinder his chances of earning a new deal, especially if he can recover quickly. Meanwhile, the Ravens are preparing to rely on other key tight ends such as Mark Andrews and Charlie Kolar, who will shoulder the workload as Likely focuses on regaining full health. The debate is open. Should Likely be viewed as a potential silver lining for the Ravens' future plans? Or is this injury a sign of challenges to come? Will he bounce back swiftly enough to help the team right from the start? And how might this injury influence contract negotiations? Share your thoughts. Are you optimistic or concerned about Likely's outlook this season? Isaiah Likely's injury update. What it means for the Ravens. Imagine the shockwaves that rippled through the Baltimore Ravens organization when news broke that their promising tight end Isaiah Likely would be sidelined for an extended period due to a broken bone in his foot. The injury, which will require surgery, has left fans and analysts alike wondering about the impact on the team's upcoming season. But here's where it gets controversial. While the initial prognosis suggests a 6-week recovery period, there's a glimmer of hope that Likely could be back sooner than expected. NFL Network insider Ian Rappaport reported on Wednesday that the timetable could be shortened depending on the outcome of the surgery. Rappaport even went so far as to suggest that Likely might be ready for Week 1, emphasizing that this isn't a long-term issue. He will be fine, a source close to the situation told Rappaport, highlighting the 18-week season ahead. The Ravens are set to kick off their 2025 campaign on September 7th, facing the Buffalo Bills on Sunday Night Football, just 39 days from now. Ravens head coach John Harbaugh had previously stated that Likely would be out for at least a few weeks after being carted off at the end of practice. Likely, a 2022 fourth-round pick, was poised to take on a more significant role in the Ravens' offense this year. His impressive 2024 season, where he racked up a career-high 477 yards on 42 catches with 6 touchdowns, showcased his run-after-catch ability and enticing upside. Despite the setback, Likely is expected to be a crucial part of the game plan whenever he returns. And this is the part most people miss. Likely's injury means that Mark Andrews, the Ravens' veteran tight end, will continue to be a key player in the offense, at least to start the season. There had been some off-season speculation that Baltimore might move on from the soon-to-be 30-year-old Andrews. However, his continued presence ensures that the Ravens still have a reliable target for quarterback Lamar Jackson, if Likely misses regular season action. The Ravens' tight end situation is a fascinating one, and it will be interesting to see how the team adapts in Likely's absence. Do you think the Ravens can maintain their offensive prowess without Likely for the first few weeks? Or will Andrews' experience be enough to keep the offense humming? Share your thoughts in the comments below.